Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Another quick game of interplanetary I Spy going on here today. We are looking at this image, going right back to Sol 439. This is the Mars Curiosity Rover website here, which has just been updated. So it's a bit different to what you might be used to. This is the image. Here's the date at the bottom, 2013, 31st of the 10th. And basically we have a bunch of rocks, as usual in Gale Crater. Lots of strata in the background and sort of sedimentary rock in layers, and we have a boulder here towards the center of the image and what looks like a person stood behind it. Now, could this actually be a person and not just some kind of optical illusion or some kind of carving or strange pillar? I don't know for sure. You can never be 100% sure about any of these things on Mars because, of course, we haven't actually been there in person to check these out up close, and unfortunately the rover rarely takes close-ups and detailed images of the things we really want to look at, and just kind of drives past and takes loads of images of everything which are out of focus like this and generally don't look that sharp or detailed. So here we are. This is the main page for that. I'll put links to that and this image. And let's have a look at it in here. I've got it in my graphics processor here. Now all I've done is enlarge this image to make it less pixelated and easier to look at. And this isn't very far from the rover. I would say this is probably less than 15 or so feet away, maybe 20 feet at the most. And we have this boulder here with what looks like a person stood behind it. Now, bear in mind, this, if it is a person, and it may not be of course, is only about a foot or maybe 15 inches tall, approximately. Now, when I did the first video of this back in 2013, I thought it was bigger, but now I don't think that at all. I think this is way, way smaller. And I've done a new meme of it here, a new clip, and some of you may have seen this already, but a lot of you may have not have seen this at all, as it was literally originally posted 6 years ago now, and it was sent to me originally by a person called Jose Llorca. Here's the name here. Jose Llorca sent this back in 2013, and one of the top finds, I think, on Mars. Now, this has largely been ignored. I've sent it to the press a number of times over the years, and they wouldn't print it at all, which they never seem to do with the mummified things on Mars. They would rather print something like a UFO or something that could easily be dismissed as something else. But this, I think, is a little bit harder to dismiss because if you look at the detail here, we've got the enhanced clip here, you can actually see what looks like a helmet or hat and a little face like a chin sticking down here and an arm or shoulder here. And there seems to be a zip or something going down the center of the jacket, a line there, and you can even see that in the raw image. Let's look at, this is a bit brighter at the bottom here. There's a smaller clip, but brighter. You can see that quite clearly, that line coming down. So it's something very odd, and it may actually be a person. Now, over the years, I've never found anything that's living on the surface, apart from the odd UFOs flying around, which may be intelligently controlled, but there may not be anything in them. They may be robot drones or something. But this is one of the few examples that could be construed as a living person, because all the others are either lying on the ground and mummified, or they're sort of decapitated, or their heads are just sticking out of the sand. So this could actually be a living person, and there may be a little entrance into the surface where these little people might live. Who knows? And other people, another reason why I wanted to redo this video basically is that a lot of people have said that this wannabe rock here in front may actually be a petrified or sort of fossilized skull of some kind of creature, like a reptile or something. There does seem to be an eye here, just here. You can see where my cursor is. You can see a blob there which looks a bit like an eye and a eyelid. Is that possible? Yes, because I have found many similar things, and there seem to be teeth, like a row of teeth here, but I can't quite work it out. It doesn't really make a lot of sense to me, but a lot of people say they see it, and they may be right. I'm not going to rule it out. But the question is this a person? Maybe, maybe not. It's no more than about 1 or 2 feet tall. I would imagine if this is a person, that the feet would be down here somewhere, aligned with this kind of rock there, stood from about this height, so not very tall. And if we take a look at the folder here, we can see it in this image, which is a clip from a Gigapan by Todd here. But it's very dark, this Gigapan, and it's not very high res. And when you zoom in, it's just all pixelated. But it gives you an idea of scale, and I'd say less than 20 feet away from the rover. So this is literally less than 2 feet tall. I would say about 1.5 feet, 1 to 1.5 feet tall. And you've got all the sort of layers of rock behind it, and this flat shale rock here, which is all broken up, and some of these crazy looking blue kind of volcanic looking rocks here. So there we are. I mean, it's one of those images that is a total mystery, because no one's actually found anything quite like it, although I have found other similar things. But most of them are not stood up. There was only one other figurine that I showed which was stood up, which could be seen in this playlist here. Hang on, let's have a look at the playlist. Now, there are 2 other similar sized people that were found, including this one and this one. Now, this one was found by Lanya Gabor on the 3rd of March this year. And this is only about 9 or 10 inches long, less than a foot, and has got some very interesting details on it. If you look at the leg here, there's 3 pins sticking out of the leg, so this may have been a cripple. And there's some interesting details here, like a chain that goes round over the shoulder and under this arm here. Very interesting indeed. So check that out. It's called Humanoid Mummy Found on Mars. There's also this one, which I found, which is another mummy, or at least it looks like one. It may not be, of course, but it certainly looks like one to me. About the same size, about 1 foot, 9 inches to 1 foot long. And there are other examples. And this one looks like a lady, a sort of mummified person with a bag. Okay, that sort of bag here. You can see the head and the eyes and the nose and the mouth. It's very crude and mummified and probably eroded as well. There's a hand here. There's a bag here with interesting things in it. There's also things like this that was found by Martian of the mummified couple, which is a famous image now. And there's also mummified heads and stuff in the area as well. So there's loads of these things. Lots of crazy things in the area. So it's by no means the only example. And if you look at the playlist that these are in fact, there's 12 videos in the playlist, and you can kind of scroll through these. The playlist is called Mars People, Top 12. If you go through to the bottom here, there's this one we're looking at today in this video here, Martians Big or Small. But there's also what looks like the figurine walking up the hill, which I called Mars Man Walking, Buddhist monk. That's worth checking out. And that basically looks like someone walking up a hill in the distance, and is a similar kind of size. There it is. Let's flip forward to it there. There we are. There's the Buddhist monk, or potential monk. There are clips of it at the end, I think. No, there isn't. Okay, there it is. So that's well worth looking up as well. Mars Man Walking is called. That's the name of the video. So there are other examples. Check out the actual Mars People playlist as well, and you might be able to find that a little bit easier. There are other kind of things that are like figurines that are carved and things like that. So this isn't the only example, and this is possibly why the mainstream media won't print these things, because they're a little bit harder to dismiss than things like UFOs that can be put down to reflections or whatever, like they normally try to dismiss them as. This is a little bit more ambiguous and difficult to actually say one way or the other, but to me this looks more like the real thing. And this is the original video, Mars alien figure caught behind rock by Rover back in 2013. So thanks to Jose for sending this in all those years ago. And I wasn't taking the mick when I was doing this video. I'm actually deadly serious, and Jose actually thought the same as I did, that this might be a person taking a leak behind the rock. And if you think of it logically, you would have to live underground on Mars, under this rock, perhaps. There may be a little entrance down here somewhere, and it would make sense if you want, during the day, if you wanted to take a leak, to go upstairs, if you like, and take a leak outside, and then go back down in your hole and get down in there before nighttime came along and it got extremely cold. In the summer, even, it goes down to minus 80 degrees at night. In the winter, it's about minus 180 or 190 even. Even though this is on the equator, of course, at night, because there's a very thin atmosphere, the heat doesn't hold in. It kind of dissipates very quickly and it gets extremely cold. So there we are. And it would also pay to be quite small to live on the Mars surface, not only because the air density near the ground is much higher and maybe a lot thicker, especially down in this crater, which is 4.5 kilometers down, but also if you were small, it would be much easier to sort of burrow underground, like rodents do, and other creatures like lizards and insects and that kind of thing. They burrow underground. It would make perfect sense. And it wouldn't pay to be a massive 6 or 7 foot person if you had to burrow under the ground. It would be much easier if you were smaller, just in a practical sense. So there we are. Check out these other videos. There will be links at the end of this video to these, so you can check those out. Check out the Martians Big or Small video. Check out the mummy found on Mars. I mean, this is crazy, this one. I mean, it really does look like a mummified woman. It's well worth checking out that. So it's not the only example. So it may actually turn out to be an actual person. Unfortunately, I can't work out I've looked all through the other images that were taken on and around this day, either end of it, and there's no sign of it. Because unfortunately only a couple of shots were taken of this exact spot, and then the rover moved on, and it doesn't show up in any of the other sets of images, unfortunately, so we can't really cross-reference it with other images to get a side angle or a slightly different perspective on it. So unfortunately we can't really confirm it 100%, but you can never really confirm anything on Mars 100%, especially when NASA manipulate the images, as we know they do. So there we are, that was it really. Is it a person taking a leak behind a rock? I think it could be. I don't see any reason why not, and no one actually, over all these years, since 2013, since I started, has ever been able to give me one good reason why there should not be life on Mars. And in fact, a lot of people are coming around to it now. If you look at the original video here, this has got a lot of dislikes compared to likes here, almost 50-50. But that doesn't happen now. So people's attitudes are changing. Just in these short 6 years since I've done this, people are much more willing to believe that some of these things may actually be what I say they are, or what people think they are. But I don't claim to get things 100% right, and if I do find something that proves it's not that thing, then I will make a video and debunk it myself. I'll be the first to do that. So thanks for watching, everybody. Do check out my channel if you haven't been on it before. There is a free app you can download here. If you press the app button here on my page, that will give you a free mobile app so that you can do this kind of space anomaly hunter research, or what I like to call space detective work, where you look through images and see if you can find evidence of a previous civilization, like we have here with all these heads and statues. There's the Mars man walking there, incidentally, just there, and here's that dude behind the rock just here, and there's loads of other things, and there are about 200 of these on my channel now. Not only what look like people, but statues and skulls and mummified remains and animals remains and bones and skulls and stuff all over Gale Crater. All different types of species, including birds, apes, cats, dogs, humans, humanoids, proto-humans, and primitive types of human, like this one here. That's kind of Neanderthal looking. Some of them look reptilian, some of them look very cat-like, some of them look almost insectoid. Very, very, very diverse set of skulls and specimens have been found in this area, mainly by me, but also by other people. So do check out my playlist and check those out. So there's many, many more where this came from. I'm not making this up. This is a culmination of many years of research and close examination of these Mars images, and actually no one has been able to prove me wrong yet or debunk what I've done so far. So there we are. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let's just take one quick look at the raw image again. I've done nothing to this. There it is. You can see the hat or helmet, little chin, the shoulder. Let's take one more look at the meme I've got here, which is a bit clearer. There we are. Is it a person? Unfortunately, there's not quite enough detail to see any facial detail or anything like that. But I think it could well be. And who knows? Who knows? You can never be 100% sure about these things. So thanks for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe, and I will see you soon.